Chris, I've left it a little too late this time.
It's on the shelf where it always is.
Great, OK. Found it. Oh. Oh. Well, wouldn't go back in there if I were you.
Well, thanks for that. Now, have you ever wondered why food enters your body in such an amazing array of colours, but it all comes out as brown poo?
I was wondering it just now, because I did an absolutely enormous...
Yes, we get the idea. Well, the answer is all to do with your red blood cells. It all begins in your bone marrow. Red bone marrow is found at the ends of the long bones in your body. This is where your red blood cells are, and you make around 2 million of them every second. If you make 2 million red blood cells every second, that means in a day you'll make...
172 million. Wow! That really is a large number.
They circulate around your body, travelling miles and miles in the course of their lifetimes.
And all that travelling can make your red blood cells pretty tired.
So after around 120 days, they're recycled in your spleen, an organ located under your rib cage and above the stomach.
So it's almost like your spleen acts as a kind of bouncer, checking the ages and the condition of your red blood cells before they can join in the party in the rest of your body. A bit like this.
The cupboard of everything represents your body.
It's being guarded by Xand, the spleen.
Our ouches represent red blood cells, and the numbers on their T-shirts are their blood cell ages.
Right, I don't want to catch any cells older than 120 days trying to get into the body to party, and I don't want to get any ill cells in here either. But everyone under 120 days, you're welcome in to party in the body.
And no trying to distract me with bad dancing, Chris.
17, in you go, nice to see you. Don't get tangled up with those heart valves. 35, you're looking good. Nice haemoglobin. 122, wait a minute! 122?
You're far too old!
I'm sorry, mate, but you're for recycling.
And that's what happens to old blood cells in your body. They get recycled.
75, doing a lovely job there. Your dad said they want you back in the brain by 9. 89, hang on a minute, you're injured. There are bits coming off you. In you go for recycling. And last but not least, 100, wait a minute!
126? That's far too old as well!
Get in for recycling. Honestly, it's not easy being a spleen. So what has all this got to do with your poo being brown? Well, we're going to show you. It's your recycled red blood cells that turn your poo brown as they make the journey from your spleen to the toilet. And to show you how this happens, I've created this extremely scientific model of the entire process.
Well, I hope you've thought up an appropriately scientific name, Xand.
I call him Poo Man. Just like you, Poo Man has a spleen, a liver, and a small intestine full of food like it would be in your body. So here you go, Chris. I've got a recycling bin full of old red blood cells, and you're going to tip them into the spleen. Now, when the spleen breaks down the old red blood cells, it makes a yellow chemical called bilirubin, and that bilirubin travels from your spleen to your liver. It will later help in turning your poo brown.
Now, your liver uses the bilirubin to make a green liquid called bile. This green bile gets mixed up with the yellow bilirubin and then heads off to meet your food.
I think it's time to let the bile into the digestive tract. All this should flow into the intestines, and we'll see what happens. Are you ready?
Ready. Oh, there we go.
Oh!
Hang on.
Yeah, I made a mistake, Chris. I added too much bile and made Poo Man do a runny poo.
No, just fish some of it out and shove it back.
Nothing to see here. Move along. Right, let's try and get a solid poo. So the bile has entered the intestine. The bile helps to digest the food. Some of it gets reabsorbed back into the body, but some of it is converted in the gut to a chemical called stercobilin. And this, mixed with the yellow bilirubin, is what makes your poo brown. And you can see that here. The poo is a nice pooey brown.
So we've shown you that your spleen filters your blood, removing any tired, worn-out red blood cells that are more than 120 days old, and recycles them.
This recycling process makes a waste material called bilirubin. When mixed with bile and mashed up with your food in your intestines, it makes your poo brown.
Oh, Chris, why did the baker have brown hands?
I don't know, why did the baker have brown hands?
because he needed a poo. Get it? Like needed? Like a baker? I mean, that is a bit disgusting, isn't it? Medical teams always expect the unexpected.
But no one was expecting this.
In accident and emergency, 10-year-old Ayman has come in hobbling with, well, he's not quite sure.
I had this rash yesterday that made all my hands and my legs swell up, and now it's spread for some reason.
Ooh, it looks serious, but nice socks. Has this ever happened before?
No, first time. First time. This is the first time.
Ah, OK, first time, got it. So how did it start?
Ayman was at school in art class.
Oh, nice sculpture, Ayman.
Really nice. He's got a real talent. Anyway, just as he was adding the final touches to his masterpiece, he looked down to see his hand swelling up.
Uh-oh, this doesn't look good.
And it didn't stop there. It turned into a rash that spread around his body and his joints became swollen and sore.
Ouch!
The rash is now spread and it's hurting all the joints on my body, like my legs and my ankles and my elbows, my back and the back of my head as well, but not really my shoulders.
Well, that's something, but with a mystery illness at large, Ayman's mum and brother have brought him to hospital to find out what could be causing his strange symptoms.
This needs to be looked at urgently. Enter Dr. Morag Turnbull. Nope, she's not playing a tune on his tummy. She's giving him a thorough examination.
Ow, that hurts.
That hurts. Sorry, sweetheart, I'm really not trying to hurt you. What about you?
That hurts as well.
Gosh, it just hurts everywhere, doesn't it? Yeah. I think what he's got is something that we call HSP, okay?
It stands for Henoch-Schönlein purpura. So go on then, Doc, tell us more about it.
What it is it's like an inflammation of the blood vessels. It's something called a vasculitis.
You can get this condition after a virus, and the inflamed blood vessels can cause a bruise-like rash and swollen joints, which can be painful and make it hard to walk.
There we go.
Ow, 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 ow.
His joints are obviously very painful. He's not really able to stand, so he's going to need to stay in hospital till we can get on top of his pain a bit better for him.
Later on, the doctors start to worry that Ayman may have something much more serious.
I think there's a small chance we're dealing with meningitis because that rash that can look like that as well.
So we'll see how Ayman gets on soon.
In hospital, it's not just the doctors and nurses who help to get you fixed.
There are lots of other heroes working behind the scenes.
Ah, yes!
What will happen when we have a go at their amazing jobs?
Useless.
This is Operation Takeover.
When you're a patient, life can be a bit boring, so it's important to keep upbeat and entertained on the wards.
Today's hospital heroes help with that. They are Radio Lollipop DJs Dom and Chaminda.
They're hosts on the Evelina Children's Hospital radio station, which broadcasts just for the patients to cheer them up and reduce stress, which is good for health.
It is Thrilling Thursday.
I'm really excited. We have some very special guests coming in later.
I think they're talking about us, Chris. Let's say hello.
Are we live now?
Absolutely.
Hi, kids. So, what is it like doing hospital radio?
It's great fun. The children love it as well, and if they're having fun, then we have the most fun.
As a kid, being in hospital is not the most exciting place to be, so it takes them away from the whole hospital environment.
What I want to know is what are the ingredients of a really good radio show?
I reckon you guys should go upstairs onto the wards, find out firsthand from our listeners what makes a really good radio show.
That's a brilliant idea.
OK, let's hit the wards and get
The top 3 tips to being a hospital radio show host. In at number 3.
Try to be funny a little bit.
Good luck with that one, Xand.
Oi!
What's at number 2?
Do good singing.
Do you think that the DJ should sing, or do you think we should just play the records?
Sing.
Really?
Uh-oh.
And finally, top of the charts is...
Don't embarrass yourself.
That's easy for me, a little bit less easy for doctors aren't.
Thanks, Toller.
And thank you, Summer.
So we found out just how important the job of hospital radio host really is.
But have we got what it takes to be on the same wavelength as the real professionals? Get it? Wavelength?
It's time for us to be hospital radio hosts.
So your challenge today is to take over the airwaves for 10 minutes each.
And then we want to see how you handle a special guest.
Right, this should be trivial. And I have a special guest in mind who I think will give me an enormous advantage.
I don't have a guest. Where am I going to get a guest?
Better go find a guest.
I have a professional DJ as my guest.
It's Radio 1 Extra DJ Yasmin Evans.
And I am going to thrash Dr. Xand as a result.
Not so fast, Chris. Meet the judges. They're tuned in, ready to pick a winner. Who's the best? They decide.
Bring it on. I'll go first.
What time is it?
It's Dr. Christo!
Hospital Radio's #1 Operation Ouch-based show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Chris Show.
I have with me Yasmin Evans. How are you, Yasmin?
I'm very well. How are you?
I thought I'd been really clever inviting you along because you could really help me out. And
Yes.
in fact, it's just piled and piled on the pressure. My first go as a DJ. I'm going to hit play. I'm going to turn these up. And now we can hear Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. We're talking over it.
Can they still hear us?
They can take us down.
Oops. I wonder if anyone noticed. It's a good job Yasmin's here.
This is a nightmare. Chris has already got a guest and I don't have one. Where am I going to get a guest at such short notice?
Okay, I'm going to try and work the screen. I'm sorry, everyone listening.
I hope I'm not losing the judges.
That's Nick Jonas.
That's Nick Jonas.
Ah, there's so many buttons.
I got that.
Thank goodness Xand still doesn't have a guest.
Hang on, I've spotted someone. It's Laverne the housekeeper.
Can I stop you cleaning? Will you be a guest on my radio show?
Oh, I'll think of it.
You'll be all right?
Yep.
Come on then, come with me.
Okay.
Off we go.
Phew, just in the nick of time.
And for all the judges out there, I guess I want to leave you with the thought.
How much better this has been than Dr. Xand.
It's going to be. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Bye. I must say that it's phenomenally stressful. Give me 5.
Beat that, Xand. Over to you.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Xand.
Oh. One thing's for sure, I'll give it a go. It's time for Dr. Xand's amazing radio show!
This is Dr. Xand, and let me tell you, I'm gonna make your eardrums burst. No, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, that'd be bad. I'm gonna give you dandruff. How about that?
See, Chris? I can be funny.
If you say so.
We have an incredible guest, the world famous, the one, the only, Laverne Lodrick. Laverne, how you doing?
Hi there, Doctor. Good evening.
I'm gonna play some relaxing music. How's that going?
The judges wanted singing.
Because I can't give it to you. Because I don't give it to you.
Yes, but you are 100% embarrassing.
Now, what's the food like in the hospital?
Well, I've never tasted the patient food.
Never stolen food off a poorly child.
No.
That's a bad thing to do. I tell you what, I have done that occasionally.
What? You can't do that.
You're wonderful. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Time to admit defeat, Chris. Let's get the verdict.
So, guys, tell us who the winner is.
4-1 in your face.
You love me. You really do love me.
So, judges, what did you like about my show?
It was a little bit more funny. Well, it wasn't really you, it was more of your special guest.
Ha! You got lucky, Xand.
Well, we've seen just how important the job of radio hosts like Dom and Chaminda are to the running of the hospital.
And although I did a lot better than you, according to the listening public, I think it is best left to the experts.
Have the headphones back, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Now we're getting ouch and about with our mobile clinic.
Today we're at a theme park to help solve your medical mysteries.
If you're anxious about an ailment,
Or curious about a condition,
then the Ouchmobile is the place for you. That is incredible. Chris is preparing the clinic ready for his first patient.
and Xand is out in the park to answer your burning questions.
At the clinic, Chris is open for business.
Next patient, please.
First in is 10-year-old Soraya with a question about some troublesome teeth.
Soraya, why have you come to the Ouchmobile today?
Because I've got an interesting extra tooth in between my two front teeth.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
This sounds like a case of I've got an interesting extra tooth between my two front teeth, itis.
Sounds right to me.
Open wide, and there he is, look at that. So, when you're born, all your grown-up teeth are already in your jaw. And when your milk teeth are falling out, it's because your grown-up teeth are pushing them through. And I think what's happened is that tooth is an old milk tooth. And as the two big grown-up teeth have come through, they've pushed that one back.
Will my extra tooth ever fall out?
In some people, they do fall out, but probably you're going to need it taken out by a dentist. The good news is most of the time the dentist will put you to sleep, so you won't feel a thing, you just wake up and the tooth is gone.
Away from the clinic, Xand is out and about in the park.
Why does your tummy flip when you go up or down on a roller coaster?
Inside you, not everything is firmly fixed down. So there are some bits of your body that are quite firmly attached and don't move much, but your stomach isn't one of them. It's quite elastic and it can move around. So what is literally happening is you're going up and your stomach's being pulled down, and then as you go over the hill, your stomach keeps going up and you start going down again. So your stomach is almost flipping. It can make you feel a bit sick.
Dr. Xand, how do antibiotics know which part of your body to affect?
What's happening is every cell in your body is exposed to the antibiotics. But you can imagine the bacteria are quite different cells to the ones in your body. Like they just work in different ways, they've got different enzymes, different proteins and so on. And so the antibiotics are specially designed to interfere with the bacteria without interfering with the cells in your body. It's a very difficult question.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 8-year-old Cassius, whose toes need some tending.
So Cassius, what brings you to the Ouchmobile?
On one of my feet, on all of my toes, on all of my nails, they're goldeny yellow.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
So this sounds like a rare case of, on one of my feet, on all of my toes, all of my nails are goldeny yellow itis.
Easy for you to say.
Goodness me, yeah. I can see under your nails is also infected. The fungus that has infected your nails is a bit like a mushroom. And if you ever go to a mushroom farm, they have to grow in dark, damp conditions, a bit like the conditions we find in your shoe.
What can I do about it?
Well, there are a couple of things you can do. You can take medication, you can get antifungal treatments that you paint on the nail. And the second thing you can do is wear quite loose-fitting shoes that breathe easily, and sometimes on a sunny day like this, you should just wear flip-flops.
And don't forget to change your socks every day too.
Job done for today, clinic closed.
Ouch! Spots. I used to get them, I still do get them, you're probably going to get them, and nobody likes them. But for some teenagers, puberty can make spots a lot worse. Clear! So, why does puberty make spots worse? Well, imagine this is your skin, and there is a hair follicle with a hair growing out of it. Now, every hair follicle has a sebaceous gland, which makes a special kind of oil called sebum. And sebum's good normally, keeps your skin moist, but during puberty, sebum levels can skyrocket, can block up the hair follicle and cause a spot. Everyone has to put up with the odd spot now and then, but if it gets really bad, it's called acne. And if you have acne, there are special clinics on standby to help. I'm visiting a special acne clinic at Oxford University Hospital's NHS Trust. In charge today, consultant dermatologist Tess McPherson. What kind of things cause acne?
I think there's lots of myths associated with acne. It doesn't mean you've got dirty skin. Other things which people always ask me about is diet, and there's not much evidence that diet plays a clear role. If you've had a bad acne in the family, you're more likely to get bad acne yourself, so there's certainly genetics play a role. But the main cause is hormones.
This is 15-year-old Josh. Hard to believe he had bad acne for a couple of years.
I had it all over the face, the back, the neck, the other back of the neck, a bit on the chest as well. It wasn't very nice.
But after 7 months of treatment at the clinic with a tablet that stops the production of sebum, Josh is doing much better. Although he does have some leftover scarring on his back.
So was your back probably the most severely affected area?
Yeah, definitely.
So although that scarring does look quite dramatic at the moment, over time that'll fade and those will end up going...
Some of these ones which are a little bit bumpy will certainly flatten out over time.
And now I've had the treatment, I'm a lot happier. As long as it cleared up on my face, I was pretty much happy with that.
So don't worry, scars can fade. But remember, don't pick.
If you're worried about getting spots when you're a teenager, then don't panic.
In severe cases like Josh, doctors can prescribe creams and tablets to help, but everyone gets some spots, and here's some tips.
Apart from creams and medicines, you can help yourself by shampooing your hair regularly and avoid letting it fall across your face. Don't wash affected areas of skin more than twice a day, and don't pick them.